Hello, Pastor Doug, back again from the video. Today, I want to do a short video recommending a particular book and where to find references about this particular book. My friend Greg from Pilgrims of Plunder fame and myself have been debating over the last several months the exact nature of sanctification, and it's been a very fruitful debate. And we made a video a couple of days ago debating mortification of sin. Now, mortification of sin is a very biblical doctrine. It's about our daily call to die to sin and then also to live for Christ. And my friend Greg has been reading through The Mortification of Sin by John Owen, one of the greatest theologians of all time. I've mentioned him in other videos. Here's a picture of him. A wonderful man, 17th century, one of probably the greatest Congregationalist theologian ever to write, and someone well worth to read. But my friend Greg quoted a line that we had this long debate about, and I'm still wrestling with. That's a good thing. Owen writes on page 58, "Bring thy lust to the gospel, not for relief, but for further conviction of its guilt. Look on him whom thou hast pierced, and be in bitterness." I'm wrestling with this because the gospel, of course, is good news. It's never bad news. However, to hold the gospel lightly is not a good thing whatsoever. So is this good advice or not? And we had a long conversation about this, and I'm still wrestling with it, and we're still having conversations of that right balance of law and gospel. But he quoted it during this discussion, and I couldn't quickly find the reference. And so I wanted to tell you where the reference was, but give you different options if you want to further read about the mortification of sin, Owen's great work. And I strongly suggest you do. It's in volume 6 of Owen's great works. It's found part 1, Mortification of the Believers. It's the very first book in volume 6 of Owen's work. But let me show you the different options. If you want to read more about the mortification of sin, you can go and buy the book itself, The Mortification for Sin, and it's like $10 or something of that nature. You can buy the cheat version, which I actually recently just bought because I might do it as a simple study for the saints at the church I pastor. And this is kind of the short Cliff Note version. And by the way, I'm all for that. For your first reading about something, especially for reading the Puritans, and they can be very hard to read. If you want to read the Cliff Note version first, go for it. And then if you're interested, keep on going up to the harder version. So here's the simple version. Here's the harder version. If you want to find it in its volumes of works, I think it's 16 volumes. This is beautiful, but it's old. They actually put all his works in 16 volumes, and it's in here. This is in volume 6. They are also coming out with a modern translation. It's a full translation. They want to do his complete works, but it's in a little more modern English, and they break up the paragraphs in an easier way. Because if you notice what I've been reading here, it's all those these and thous, and it has huge paragraphs because the Puritans love to write. To give another option, however, I actually found online a wonderful little cheat sheet, and it's an outline of Owen's complete works. And I'll post the link in below. I'll actually post all these links below. So if you want to get into this subject and read a great Puritan and read about this really important thing about mortifying sin, and maybe also if you want to follow along with our videos as we debate this, so you have some references, well, the information is below. Well, I hope that helps. And as always, Christ's grace and peace to you all. Amen.